So I have been very fortunate to work with an amazing healer called Timothy Dunphy. And I was introduced to him actually doing one of the modules in the cranial work that's called tensegrity. It's based on the philosophies of Buckmaster Fuller, okay, who was an architect. The idea is that we have something that is elastic, right? And we have something that's physical, which is more bone-based. Mm-hmm. And the elastic is more the fascia and muscle. So when you can learn how to work with that, there's really no limits to what you can help a client with. That's kind of the idea of it, right? But it's a more subtle way of working with the body. Mm-hmm. So he did the last of those levels that we did, and I'm sure my teacher, she at that point had a really, really good reason for that, because his work is very, very different. And if you're not open to that, I can see why it would freak you out, right? So I was working on this woman, and then it was, the best way I can describe it is I stepped out and something else stepped in. So it was almost like I was looking at myself from outside, and I saw myself as this old Chinese man with a long beard and this like Chinese outfit. And it was almost like I was going back and forth from this perspective of seeing it from the outside and going back in and seeing it from the outside and seeing it, you know. But I could literally see into this woman. So the best way I can describe it for people that might have a hard time even understanding that is if you're on a plane and you look down at nighttime and you see all the street lights, right? That was exactly how I saw the inside of her body. Just like a bunch of lights everywhere. And then there was places where there was more density, it was more dark, and it was light and it was dark. So working on that, it was almost like this Chinese person that I have no clue who was, transformed the light in this woman. And it ended up with me saying a very, very specific sound next to her ear. And she left. She ran out of the room.
Oh, she left?
Yeah, she left. Like I said that sound, and I was like frozen like this Chinese guy.
Yeah.
And she just got up and she ran out of the room, screaming and crying, and that was it. And then I kind of unfroze from this position. I came back as me.
Yeah.
And I looked at Timothy and I was like, what the hell was that? And he was just smiling and nodding. It's like, yeah, so everything's fine, don't worry. You know, I got you. I'm holding you space here. Just whatever happens, happens. And then after the whole thing, we all had to do talk about the experience and what we've experienced, because that's a big thing of what he does, because everybody's experience is very, very unique. So she was still gone, and I was like, what the hell did I do? Like, did I screw her up, or like, I was so scared, right? Because this was like, I was freaking out because I had this experience, and I was freaking out because she left. It was like too much for me, and I was like, what am I gonna do? So we're going in the circle of the students there, and she comes back, and she's like, her eyes, you can just see she was just crying like there's no tomorrow. And then Timothy asked me, so Peter, what did you experience? And I explained to him, I experienced that. He said, yeah, I saw you turn into this Chinese guy. I could see your energy change. And I was like, well, what was that? And he said, well, when you're ready, you will find out. Right? When you invite it in, it will come back. Right? So it was just a glimpse for me to kind of experience. So then Timothy asked, so what did you experience to this woman? And she was quiet for a very long time, because she didn't really want to share what she experienced, because it was very personal to her. And she started out by saying what I call the superficial stuff, right? Oh, I felt this, I felt that, I felt that. And then Timothy was, asked her again, so what did you really feel? Like, why did you leave? What happened? And she started crying again. And then after a while, she explained that specific noise that I made, that I don't even know how to replicate to this day, led her back in time and space till when she was 18 years old, and she got raped. That was the exact same noise that the rapist said as he finished. So it was almost like this whole thing went full circle. And the work that I did and that noise let it all go for her. And it took maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks And then she actually got back to me and she was like, you know what? Whatever you did, it really changed my life. And I had no idea what I did. I just allowed whatever was there to happen, right? To unfold itself. And from a healing perspective, that's always the challenge. Right? It's always a challenge not to have this thing step in to when the magic really occurs. Because essentially we're not really doing anything. We're just conduits for whatever energy flows through us. And so for me, having that experience was just like really profound. You know, and it took me a very long time. It took me years to kind of come to terms with that really happened.